Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to crack open one of the most important certifications in tech right now, the Microsoft SC-900. We're going to cover what's on it, what the questions feel like, and most importantly, how you can pass it. So, if you've been thinking about getting into that high-demand world of cloud security, well, you've come to the right place. The SC-900 isn't just another exam. Think of it as a launchpad for your career. So, let's get into it.
All right, first things first. What exactly is this certification, and who is it really for? Let's break down the fundamentals, because this is why so many people see it as the perfect gateway into cloud security.
At its heart, the SC-900 is all about testing your foundational knowledge. The basics. It's designed to be the perfect starting point for students, for people switching careers, or even for IT pros who just haven't touched the security side of things before. The best part? It assumes you have zero prior experience, which makes it a fantastic, really accessible first step. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. What are they actually going to ask you about? The exam is neatly broken down into 4 main areas, and they all build on each other. First up, you've got the core concepts. This is all about the big ideas that everything else is built on. You absolutely need to get your head around things like the shared responsibility model, what's your job versus what's Microsoft's job, and the super important principle of zero trust. This really sets the stage for everything that follows.
Next, it's all about identity, and that means Microsoft Entra. See, in the cloud, people say identity is the new control plane. So you have to know the difference between authentication, who you are, and authorization, what you're allowed to do, and of course, how these tools protect us from all the common threats out there.
This third topic is kind of like a tour of Microsoft's giant security toolbox. The goal here isn't to become a deep expert in every single tool. It's more about knowing what each one is for. If you have a security problem with your devices, which tool do you reach for? That's the kind of thing you need to know. And finally, we have compliance. I know it can sound a little dry, but it's crucial. This section is all about how organizations use Microsoft's tools to make sure they're following the rules, both their own internal ones and big external ones like ISO standards. It really comes down to protecting data and managing risk. Okay, enough theory. It's one thing to talk about the topics, but it's another thing to see what the questions actually look like. So I've grabbed a few examples for you so you can get a real feel for the exam style. Okay, take a second and think about it. The key words here are score and compliance. So the correct answer is compliance score. This is a major feature in Microsoft Purview, and it gives companies a simple number to see how well they're doing on the compliance front. And for our next one, what do you think? The answer is a data connector. It makes sense, right? Microsoft Sentinel is this big security hub, and it needs a way to connect to other services to pull in all that security data in real time. That's what a data connector does. All right, last one. The correct answer here is the Microsoft Service Trust Portal. You can think of this as the official library. It's where you go to get all the reports and documents that prove Microsoft services meet all these different global standards. It's a super important resource for any company. All right, so you've seen the content, you've seen some questions. Let's really quickly cover the exam logistics so there are no surprises on test day. Here are the key facts you need to know. You need a 700 out of a possible 1,000 to pass. Now, here's a critical tip. There is no penalty for guessing. That means you should answer every single question, even if you're not sure. Never leave one blank. And remember, absolutely no prerequisites needed to take this. So, you know it's on the exam, you know how it's scored. The big question now is, what is the absolute best way to prepare for it? Look, after you've learned the concepts, the single most effective thing you can do is practice. And to do that right, you need a tool that feels just like the real exam. One of the absolute best out there for this is certificationexam.com. Their online simulator is just fantastic. It's built specifically for the SC-900. You get access to over 200 questions that experts are constantly updating. You can use it in a practice mode where you can take your time and learn, or a timed exam mode to really test yourself. It even points out where you're strong and, maybe more importantly, where you need to study more. And if you're wondering if it actually works, well, just look at this number, 98%. A staggering 98% of people who prepare with their questions pass on their very first attempts. I mean, a success rate like that pretty much speaks for itself, doesn't it? What's really great, too, is the flexibility. You can use the full web simulator on your desktop when you're doing a serious study session, but they also have a mobile app for both Android and iOS, so you can knock out some practice questions while you're on the go. It even works offline. And this right here, this is the key takeaway. The SC-900 is a fundamentals exam, for sure, but the way they word the questions can be tricky. The confidence you build from doing repeated, structured practice with a tool like this, well, that's what makes all the difference. So, there you have it. You've got the roadmap. You understand the topics, you know the format, and you've got a proven tool to get you ready. The only question left is, what's your next move to launch that cloud security career?